everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and I'm very glad that you're joining us today because today I am running through the 39 books that I read in 2023. 2023 is the year that I got back into reading and I have really been enjoying becoming a part of the book community. My goal for 2023 was to read 24 books and I surpassed that by reading 39, so I'm very proud of myself and I'm going to shoot for I think 60 books next year. I started my booktube channel in August, so half of these books I don't have any sort of review on, but the other half do if you want to go on my channel and check those out. But like I said, today we're not going to do like an in-depth review. I'm basically just going to tell you my rating and just a few thoughts on the book. And the books behind me are the only books that I have the physical copy of. I do read a lot on my Kindle and then I do have some books that are loaned out right now, which I think speaks for them. So the first two books that I read in 2023 actually have a little bit of an explanation. At the end of 2022, I started reading the After series by Anna Todd. I didn't make Goodreads until February. So when I logged these, I just logged the entire series, so it's down as one book. But I did read the last two books in January, and those were After I Fell and After Ever Happy. I really enjoyed this series because it's very dramatic and toxic, very back and forth, but I loved it. Like, it's such a good series. I definitely recommend. At the time that I was reading this, I think that I would have rated it 5 stars, but in hindsight, I think that this is a 4-star series. And the next book that I read in 2023 was Verity by Colleen Hoover. This book had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I absolutely ate this book up. I rated it 5 stars and I have recommended this book endlessly. 10 out of 10, go read this book. Verity kind of sent me down a rabbit hole of psychological thrillers and just suspenseful novels in general. So the next book that I read was The Perfect Marriage. This book is by Geneva Rose and everyone talks about how the ending is so predictable and how they saw it coming from a mile away. But let me be the first to say that I literally didn't see the ending coming. I really enjoyed reading this book and I rated it 4 stars. Still going down our psychological thriller rabbit hole, the next book that I picked up was The Silent Patient. I feel like this book is a perfect thriller. I really enjoyed it. I will say that the beginning was a little bit slow and I was bored at first, but it quickly picked up. The ending is such a twist. You don't want to miss this one. I rated it 5 stars and you should check it out. The next two books that I read was The Cat and Mouse Duet, Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. These were the first dark romances that I've ever read and it really did make me realize that I kind of do enjoy dark romance, but I think that this was a little bit too extreme for me. And some of the parts of this book were really hard for me to digest, so I ended up rating both of these books 3 stars, and I probably wouldn't recommend them to anyone. The next book that I read was All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. I have always been a dedicated Crime Junkie fan. I really like that podcast, so of course I had to check out the book, and I did really enjoy this story. I did not see the ending yet again coming at all. Maybe I'm just a person who is like very easy to surprise in thriller books. I don't know, but I did really enjoy this one. Then we had a quick little intermission from all of the psychological thrillers and I started reading the Knock 'Em Out series. I read Things We Never Got Over, and when I was reading this one, I remember feeling like I could have enjoyed this book a little bit more, but I honestly just didn't like Knox that much. But the small town aspect and just the writing itself is really good, so I would recommend this book, but for me, I rated this one 3 stars. And then we immediately went into Things We Hide from the Light. I appreciated this story a whole lot more because of Nash and Lena's character. I thought that their characters had more chemistry than Knox and Naomi, and I also thought that the plot was just a whole lot more developed in this one, so I rated this one 4 stars. Then I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace on my Kindle, and this was the first sports romance that I've read, and I absolutely ate it up. 5 stars, go read this book. Alright, then I read The Housemaid and The Housemaid's Secret. This one I rated 5 stars, absolutely caught me off guard, had to get the next one, I immediately primed it, and I still really enjoyed the story in this one, but it just didn't catch me off guard, so I rated this one 4 stars. Then I read the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I read all 3 of these in a row on my Kindle, so I read The Fine Print, Terms and Conditions, and The Final Offer. I remember enjoying it while I was reading it, but I can't really remember a whole lot of what happened, and I didn't connect with the characters, so that's why I rated them all 3 stars. New York Minute by Kate Spencer. I haven't heard anyone talk about this book on BookTube or anything, but I saw it in the store and just gave it a chance. This book has a meet cute that honestly is really cute, and then the characters keep on running into one another after that. This was super fun. I really liked it and rated it 4 stars. I also read this really quickly. Then I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I really liked the plot of this book, and I also appreciated how they talked about mental health and really just shined light on that topic. I also just really enjoyed the couple in this book. They were so cute, and there's just so many good scenes in this book, so I definitely recommend. I rated this one 4 stars. Now we're on to an entirely different genre that I had not read up until this point, at least as an adult, and that is the ACOTAR series. I started these in August. I think we're finally on to the books that I have read while I've had my booktube. Obviously, I started with A Court of Thorns and Roses. I did really enjoy this book, and it was the first one, so it got me sucked into the universe, but I didn't really connect with it or anything. And I know that this one isn't going to be my favorite one in the series, so I rated this one 4 stars. And then I immediately started reading A Court of Mist and Fury, and I tabbed the ever-living life out of this. Well, at least for me, because I don't really annotate all that much. And this book is the one that really got me to fall for the ACOTAR series. I think that this one is going to be my favorite one in the series. These are the only 2 that I read thus far. I haven't finished the series yet, but I really do think that this one's going to be my favorite one. And I rated this one 5 stars, so definitely check out the ACOTAR series if you haven't already. Then we have The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. This one I read at the beach in like literally a day, and it's definitely perfect for that setting if you want like a quick little beach read. But I didn't really connect with it. This is young adult, so that might be why. I would definitely recommend this book, but I rated it 3 stars. Then I read the Mindfuck series, and this series literally blew my mind. If you want to read dark romance meets Criminal Minds, check out the Mindfuck series and just brace yourself. I rated this series 5 stars. Happy Place by Emily Henry. This was one of my favorite books of the year. It just really had so much that I connected to throughout this book, especially on the topic of friendship and really just adjusting to life post-grad and like in your 20s as a whole. I rated this one 4 stars, and I'm definitely planning to reread this one during the summer. Then I borrowed The Best of Me by Nicholas Sparks from the library, and this book left me absolutely heartbroken, and I rated it 4 stars. Then I read Things We Left Behind. This is the conclusion to the Knock 'Em Out series, and I know that a lot of people were disappointed with this, but I for one was not. 4 stars, definitely recommend. Then I borrowed The Bodyguard by Catherine Sinner from the library, and I read this book in one night. It's pretty short, but I don't remember a whole lot of the story. I rated it 3 stars. Next, we have None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I have this one borrowed out to a friend right now because this is one of my craziest reads of 2023. Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite authors anyways, but this book really just blew my mind. 5 stars, you've got to check it out. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston might just be the cutest book that I've read this year. This book is so magical and literally impossible to put down. 4 stars. Must I Say Anything? 5 stars. This book was somehow romantic and off-putting at the same time, depending on where you were in the book. 3 stars. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I really liked this book. I enjoyed the way that it was written and laid out, and I can't wait for it to be made into a TV show. 4 stars. Then I read Wildfire by Hannah Grace on my Kindle, and I had high hopes for this book that I felt like really weren't met. I really liked the setting of it being at a camp, but other than that, I didn't really like much about this book. 3 stars. Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren is another one of my absolute favorite books of this year, and I think that it'll be one of my favorite books for a long time. I can't wait to reread this because I definitely plan on it. Childhood lovers and Second Chance meet one another and just ultimately made me fall in love. 5 stars. The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling, definitely a good festive read for Halloween, but I don't remember a whole lot of what happened. 3.5 stars. Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. I feel like this book is getting hated on for no reason. I don't really think that it's inappropriate for young adult personally, and I rated it 4 stars. Then I read The Night Shift by Annie Crown on my Kindle. This book had a really good story, and I just hate how it was rushed, honestly. Nothing significant happened, and the story definitely had like the material to do so I rated this one 3 stars. Powerless by Lauren Roberts, another one of my favorite reads of the year. I don't really have anything to say other than that you have to read this book. 5 stars. We have made it to the end. I repeat, we have made it to the end. The last 3 books that I read in 2023 was the Prison Healer trilogy, and this was such a freaking good trilogy. Look how much I literally tabbed this book, and like I said, I don't annotate that often. So this is saying something. This is a 5-star series. Definitely recommend. Go read it. But those are all 39 of the books that I read in 2023. Like I said, I'm so proud of myself for reading this many books. I thought that setting my goal for 24 was like impossible to reach. And now look at me setting my goal for this year as 60 books. And I can't wait to keep growing as a reader this year and just on my booktube in general as part of the book community. It has been such a light in my life that I've needed. So I definitely appreciate it if you've even made it this far into the video. If you liked the video today, please give it a like and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!